Hey everyone, welcome to my backyard. My name is Chris Bistline, and this is where I'll be spending some of my time in retirement with the birds and the squirrels and the deer in beautiful Bastrop, Texas. It's hard to fathom that as lay and as clergy in ministry, 23 years have passed, and what a ride it's been. It was my blessing to serve as an associate pastor at Northwest Hills United Methodist Church in Austin for 3 years, in Bertram United Methodist Church for 8 years, Bracken United Methodist Church for 5 years, and Cedar Creek United Methodist Church for 3 years. And at every church that I have served, I have met some of the most faithful, talented, generous, and resourceful people on this planet. I've learned some great lessons from some amazing leaders, deep thinkers, compassionate people, down-to-earth common folk who have helped me to grow as a pastor. It was at Northwest Hills United Methodist Church in Austin that I discerned my call to ministry. And 3 of us who pursued this wild and wonderful calling from that church graduated together in 2002. Myself, Tina Hike, now Carter, and Judy Baskin. And I could tell you wild stories about wacky administrative council meetings and finance meetings and budget shortfalls and conflicts in the life of the church, but I won't. I suspect you have many similar experiences and countless stories just as I do. But what I will tell you is that some of my most memorable experiences in ministry have been on mission trips, involvement in mission projects, and on the mission boards that I've served throughout all of the churches in my ministry. And whether it was senior service day during my Northwest Hills days or leading several Army camps, taking shoes and clothes to the border in 2014 when news of unaccompanied immigrant minors were first being brought to our national attention, participating in the mission days at Bracken UMC, or rolling up my sleeves to unload what seemed to be tons of produce each month at the food bank in Shirts. These are all moments that I treasure, and I can easily envision finding opportunities to serve the Lord in such ways in my retirement days. What I want to leave you with is a quick story of a mission trip to Universidad Biblica Americana in Costa Rica. It was the second mission trip taken with a group from Bertram United Methodist Church. And it was here that we worked on seminary housing for the university. It's here that I added the skill sets of tile cutting, laying tile on kitchen counters, bathroom shower floors and walls, and stuccoing retaining walls to my handywoman resume. But it was also on that second trip to the university in Costa Rica that our mission team decided to add a couple of extra days to our work week to see more of the country than we had on our first trip. And our travels took us through coffee farms and cocoa farms, rainforests, cloud forests, rivers, beautiful beaches. And while learning about the wildlife in the rainforest, several in our group mentioned that it might be fun to do a zipline tour through the rainforest. A bit afraid of heights, I did not share their enthusiasm. I kept that to myself. The decision was made to go to a place which offered a cable car ride up the mountain, something like 25 zip lines down to the bottom. I bought a ticket to do this along with everyone else, including the 80-year-old woman in my group who was one of the most hardworking women on our construction team. So we went through the basics of how to put on a harness, how to let go, how to stop, and then took the cable car to the top of the mountain. And we climbed up the first platform with our guides, and at the top of the platform, someone in my group said, "Okay, you go first." Did I mention that I'm not particularly fond of heights and that I had remained silent while the decision was being made to do this zipline thing in the first place? This was not my idea. Someone said, "You go." I may have complained a little bit, but I did it, even though all I really wanted to do was take the cable car back down the mountain. But it was a glorious ride, a glorious adventure. I'm so glad I said yes, and I bought the ticket. And I share this because this is how this ministry adventure has been for me. I was hesitant in saying yes to God's call on my life. I was happy with my life. I loved my job and the ways that I was using my gifts to volunteer in the community and in my church. And it was Disciple Bible Study that pushed me off the platform. It seemed that every time that I opened my Bible and workbook to study, God kept pestering me, telling me I had gifts that the church needed as an ordained minister. And I took the plunge and prayed that in all of the ups and downs of this preaching life, that God has been glorified through whatever contributions this earthly vessel was able to offer up for the upbuilding of the kingdom. Now, as you know, this call to ministry is not just about you. It involves your family too. And I'm so thankful that I had the love and support of my husband, Russell, in the good times and the not so good times. He has been my rock and my source of wisdom throughout the years. And I'm thankful also for the support of my children, who were ages 9 to 15, I think, when this adventure started. We've since added a daughter-in-law and a son-in-law and now a 4-year-old granddaughter into this ministry life. And in my retirement, I look forward to new adventures with this amazing family. I give thanks to the former Southwest Texas Conference and to the Rio Grande Conference and all who were involved in helping to train me up into ordained ministry, including those in the churches that I've served. I give thanks to so many colleagues that I now call beloved friends, whom I've studied with, played with, prayed with, maybe shared some shenanigans with. Okay, definitely shared some shenanigans with. And I suspect that whatever I've gained throughout all of these years of ministry will be continued to be used to bring glory and honor to God. I pray it may be so. God bless you, and cheers.